Welcome to Selfie Story for another episode of Alternate Reality. Put on your headphones for a nerve-chilling story. Today we delve into a world where parallel realities aren't just a figment of fiction, but a startling reality. Picture this: Rogers, an ordinary man with a thirst for power and knowledge that is anything but ordinary. Driven by his insatiable ambition and a curiosity that knows no bounds, Rogers stumbles upon a revelation that turns his world upside down. The multiverse is real. But it's not just the existence of alternate realities that leaves Rogers reeling. No, it's a darker, more tantalizing truth. By eliminating his other selves residing in these parallel universes, Rogers can absorb their strengths, their insights, their knowledge. It's a prospect that's as terrifying as it is enticing. Imagine, if you will, the ability to take on the wisdom of a world-renowned physicist, the prowess of an Olympic athlete, the cunning of a master strategist. All this and more lies within reach for Rogers. The stakes are high, but so are the rewards. And so, blinded by ambition and the lure of absolute supremacy, Rogers embarks on a perilous quest, a journey that takes him across the vast expanse of the multiverse. Each conquest leaves him more formidable than before. With every alternate Rogers that falls, our protagonist grows in power, in wisdom, in strength. But this power comes at a steep price. As Rogers traverses through the multiverse, he leaves behind a trail of chaos and destruction. Worlds crumble, universes teeter on the brink of oblivion, yet the thirst for power is a relentless beast. It gnaws at Rogers, driving him further into the abyss. The promise of absolute power, of unchallenged supremacy, is too alluring to resist. And so, Rogers continues his dark journey, his thirst for power leaving a trail of destruction across the multiverse. With each conquest, Rogers grows more formidable, leaving a trail of destruction across the multiverse. But in our universe, a different reality awaits Rogers. As he steps into the familiar yet alien world, Rogers encounters a mirror of himself that shatters his expectations. This alternate Rogers is a far cry from the versions he's seen before. Not a mere reflection, but a shadow, darker and more formidable. Picture this: a man so consumed with power he's traveled across the multiverse, snuffing out his own existence in countless realities to feed his insatiable hunger. But here, he meets a version of himself who's not just survived, but thrived, outmaneuvering every challenge and rising to the top. This Rogers is not just his equal, but his superior, a predator in his own right. It's a shock to the system, a bolt of lightning that sends Rogers reeling. He's the hunter, the conqueror of worlds, not the hunted. But in this reality, the tables have turned. The predator becomes the prey, and Rogers finds himself trapped in a deadly game of cat and mouse. It's a terrifying realization, a bitter pill to swallow, but it's also a wake-up call, forcing Rogers to confront the stark truth of his actions. He's not the invincible, unstoppable force he believed himself to be. There are others out there, versions of himself who've taken a different path, who've chosen not to destroy, but to build, to learn, to grow. As the chase intensifies, Rogers is pushed to his limits, forced to rely on his wits and cunning to survive. It's a grueling test, a trial by fire that exposes the cracks in his armor, the flaws in his grand plan. But it's also an opportunity, a chance to learn, to adapt, to evolve. This is the moment of truth, the turning point in Rogers' journey. He's seen the best and the worst of himself, faced his fears and stared into the abyss. He's been the hunter and now he's the hunted. But in this universe, he is not the predator, but the prey. As the lines between hunter and hunted blur, Rogers is faced with the terrifying truth. The pursuit of power, once a tantalizing quest, has now morphed into a perilous journey, a labyrinth of treacherous alliances and unimaginable challenges. Each step on this journey forces Rogers to confront the consequences of his actions, the true nature of power, and the darkness within himself. In the grand cosmic chessboard, Rogers has become a pawn, a mere plaything of power. And power, as Rogers soon learns, is a double-edged sword. It can make one formidable, yes, but it can also isolate, corrupt, and consume. It's a beast that grows hungrier with each feed, a shadow that darkens with each conquest. As Rogers' power grows, so does his isolation and his enemies. Navigating through the treacherous alliances becomes a Herculean task. Each handshake hides a dagger, each smile a poison. Trust becomes a luxury Rogers can't afford. His allies, once companions, now potential threats. His friends, once brothers, now potential assassins. The world he knew, the ties that bound him, all are lost in the vortex of power. And then there are the challenges, those unimaginable, daunting obstacles that he must face. Each universe presents a new set of rules, a new game to play. And with each game, the stakes escalate, the risks amplify. The price of failure is not just his life, but the fate of countless worlds. Yet amidst this chaos and confusion, Rogers is forced to confront the most terrifying adversary, the darkness within himself. The mirror of power reflects a distorted image of Rogers, a version consumed by ambition, blinded by conquest. He must face this darkness, this distorted self, if he is to survive. He must accept the beast he has become, only then can he hope to tame it. With the fate of countless worlds hanging in the balance, Rogers is forced to confront the darkness within himself. For power, as Rogers will soon learn, is not just about domination, but about responsibility. It's a burden he must bear, a price he must pay, and the journey has only just begun. But in the face of his own mortality, Rogers discovers a startling truth. As he stands on the precipice of oblivion, Rogers finds himself grappling not with the power he's amassed, but with the weight of his own sins. It's a heavy burden to bear, the guilt of countless realities destroyed in his pursuit of supremacy. But it's in this moment of stark vulnerability that Rogers begins to see the true nature of strength. It's not found in domination, in the ability to bend others to his will. No, true strength, he realizes, lies in unity and compassion, in the ability to bring together, to heal, and to uplift. It's a revelation that shakes him to his core, shattering the illusions of power he'd clung to so desperately. He sees now that his quest for power, his insatiable desire to reign supreme, has left him isolated, trapped in a self-made prison of ambition and ruthlessness. In his relentless pursuit of strength, he'd lost sight of what truly mattered: connection, understanding, empathy. He sees now that power, true power, isn't about standing above others, but standing with them. This realization comes as a stark contrast to the Rogers he'd been, the man who'd roamed the multiverse, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. But it's this understanding, this newfound comprehension of power, that gives him hope. For in understanding his mistakes, Rogers sees a path to redemption. He recognizes the damage he's done, the worlds he's torn asunder. But he also sees the chance to make amends, to use his power not to destroy, but to heal. It's a daunting task, one fraught with peril and uncertainty. But Rogers knows it's a journey he must undertake. For the fate of the multiverse hangs in the balance. In this breathtaking climax, Rogers is faced with a stark choice: to continue down his path of destruction, or to embrace his newfound understanding of strength and power. In this breathtaking climax, Rogers must make a choice that will determine the fate of the multiverse itself. In the final moments, a twist awaits. Our man Rogers, once the hunter, now the prey, is cornered. The alternate Rogers, a mirror image yet wholly different, is closing in. But it's in this moment of impending doom that Rogers stumbles upon a revelation, a twist of fate that stirs the multiverse to its core. In his relentless quest for power, Rogers had overlooked a vital piece of the puzzle: the power of unity. He had been so focused on conquering his alternate selves, he'd failed to realize they weren't his enemies but his allies. Each version of Rogers, though different, shared the same essence, the same potential to unite and become stronger together. The alternate Rogers, cunning and ruthless, stops in his tracks, taken aback by the change in his prey's demeanor. In a heartbeat, the game changes. The hunted becomes the hunter once again, but not through force or fear, but unity and compassion. A bond forms between the Rogers of multiple realities, a connection that transcends space and time. Together they turn the tide, their combined strength overwhelming the once formidable foe. The multiverse shudders as the balance of power shifts, the shock waves of their unity echoing across countless realities. But there's a darker, deeper twist to this tale. The alternate Rogers, the one who'd been hunting our Rogers, was not an enemy, but a test. A test set by the multiverse itself to challenge Rogers, to push him beyond his limits, and help him realize the true essence of power. In the end, it was not about domination, but unity. Not about conquering, but understanding. And as this truth dawns upon Rogers, he finally comprehends the real price of power. The fate of the multiverse hangs in the balance, waiting for the final choice. A choice that will either unite the multiverse or tear it apart. A choice that Rogers, now stronger and wiser, is ready to make. Thanks for watching Selfie Squad. Subscribe and like for more videos. Stay tuned for more nerve-chilling stories.